Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, let's dive into some TA. Alright, guys, we're gonna kick it off here with the SPY weekly time frame, and I am just gonna give a little spoiler alert, guys. Things look ready to explode. On the weekly time frame, we have things setting up just so beautifully for us. We have a bunch of downtrend breaks. Yes, we're testing a bunch of golden pockets, but we're going to talk about in this video. Things are looking like way more good than bad. All right. And things, honestly, they look like we're just going to run back up to all-time highs. So let's dive right into it. All right. SPY's weekly time frame. Big wide body green bar. Another big wide body green bar. You did have the lower volume, but I will point out you had that downtrend break, and that is what I like. All right. Now we come over here to the daily time frame, and I'm going to point out, guys, you broke above that 0.786 fib. All right, guys. Now, if you're not new to the channel, then you do know that, if sellers were going to step in here, it was probably going to be, before 55340. That didn't happen. Price got above there. We actually got a daily close above there. And, I don't really care so much about that candlestick or the volume that's associated with it. What I care about is that you got the daily close above it. Sellers are not stepping in where they should be if they're going to, shove this thing down. We have the fresh downtrend break there. And from where I'm sitting, it looks like we're probably going to be running up here to 565.16 over the next 1 to 2 weeks. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Any pullback is now going to be a buying opportunity, right? So if you see a pullback into 543.48, guys, that's going to be your buying opportunity because this thing just got above the 0.786 fib. It makes a move up to 565.16 likely. It is now completely on the table, and, it's more likely to happen than not. That's what I'm looking at, all right? And aside, on the weekly time frame, this thing's looking ferocious, all right? Do you guys see what I'm seeing? What the heck is that? Just go back and look. We typically do have these big wide body green bars associated with, some continuation there. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. You did get the fresh downtrend break. I am just going to point out how relevant that is. Okay, you got a pretty similar setup right over there. It just took more time. Okay, but right there, right here, you got the really big one, and then it started up this whole rally here. Okay, but, the market, it, resolves itself to the upside when it sets up those downtrends, breaks, and then it resolves itself with a new all-time high most of the time, or at least a push above the previous high. That's what we will at least be looking for. Just on this one, we're already at all-time high, so you do that new all-time high. But yeah, that's what it looks like it's coming now. So that's what we got to be expecting. So pullbacks are buying opportunities. We're going to come down to the hourly time frame. I'm going to point out, yes, you are just carving out that 1 hour bearish divergence right there. You're still above the 9, though. And like I pointed out, you're above that 0.786 fib. Things aren't looking too bad. 15-minute time frame, you do also have a big fat 15-minute bearish divergence going on here. That is definitely present, but you are just stair-stepping your way up. And, this thing still looks like it's doing a little flag action right there. And it could be about to bust up, and then we could run to 556.74 resistance. All right. So let's just run through it level by level, guys. Your support is going to be 553.63 under there, 551.70, and then that is where you open yourself up for $4 spill right there down to 547.91. Then we have 543.48. Now, I don't think we're going to get all the way back down there, but if you do see these kinds of moves, guys, these are the things that that's good stuff. Okay, that is good stuff. On the upside for resistance, we will have 554.87, which is where you had sellers stepping in here on Friday. All right, you were bumping your head up there a few times, three different hourly candlesticks there. 554.87 above there, you have 556.74, and then 559.63, guys. If you get all the way up there, you are, you could see a pullback, but you're at that point so likely just going to push up to 565.16. And that's that, guys. So I got like 2 scenarios I want to talk to you guys about. And this kind of goes for all the charts I'm about to show you. All right. At least the indices, they all look pretty, similar to the SPY chart here. Now that you're above there, we're looking for a pullback and then a move to all-time highs, or we're looking for another gap and go. And then you just keep going. This reminds me of, this action over here when everyone was just flabbergasted, right? You had, that going on, and then by the time this happened, everyone's in disbelief, and everyone, is like, oh, we're about to get another leg down, this is where we should start shorting it. And then it just kind of consolidated instead of pulling back, and then it just kept getting these gaps and goes. That could be about to happen. All right, over here I think we had like a lot of gap ups in a row. All right, so right here you gapped up 1 2 3 4 5 6. All right, 6 gap ups in a row. Do we have something similar over here? Kinda. All right, kinda. You got a 1, you got a 2, you have a 3, you have a 4. Okay, not kinda. Either way, that is the scenario here. If you continue hard, that's what we're looking like we're going to be doing. And what happened over there, you just literally kept going. And at that point, everyone's going to go back to just being in disbelief. We've now gotten a decent sized pullback there. You do have this, weekly bearish divergence we could talk about. But at the same time, who's going to argue with that candlestick? All right. You have, this occurring after this pullback. Okay. And it looks like it's about to freaking explode. You can come over here and you bounce right here at the 0.786 fib. That's that. We're going to be going over NQ and ES and RTY in this video as well. There's a new little section we're going to be adding here into our videos. We will cover that in the weekly updates. So, futures traders can have that. And yeah, that'll be cool. And guys, I'm just, going to give it a little spoiler alert. They're looking insane. All right. The futures charts, weekly charts are looking like they want to freaking rip faces. It's not even funny what's going on right now. And that's that. All right. Now moving on over here to QQQ. I'm going to point out you're still in your golden pocket here. All right. So that is something we should talk about. I know you got a lot of levels you got going on here. Point is, on the weekly time frame, big wide body green bars, probably going to lead to some continuation action right there. Okay, you could get pullbacks. This is where we expect sellers in the golden pocket, but at the same time, the pullback, guys, it's a buying opportunity. It's now been confirmed that, this thing right here, it's been confirmed over here in SPY. It's been confirmed that it was a buying opportunity because you've gotten above here. You're going to take out these highs now. With, I'm going to give it 95% on, so you take out these highs. That's Henry odds for you. There you go. That was that. That was easy. Things are looking kind of nice. All right, kind of nice. Anybody who's sitting on losses, if you just held in there, and you were with me, and you were like, these September calls, these are kind of free money. These are, no matter what happens, you're going to see the market recover, and then you're going to have a ton of time. And then if things really do run up to all-time highs, that's when you're sitting on a lot of money. Now everything has recovered. Okay, so I hope anybody who is sitting in pain. All right, now I hope you just held on a little bit and just let the market recover. We're very likely going to see it recover. And now it has literally recovered right back to where it was before that, last drop. That really probably, put a lot of pain in people's wallets there. That's that. Now we're looking like you want to recover up to the highs. So that's how we're looking. 15-minute time frame, I am going to point out you get the same exact 15-minute bearish divergence going on here. Let's just point out the levels. Same thing. You got that little flag action going on. So, if you get a little gap up, you could be setting up for a gap and go. Just my opinion there. You got that 15-minute bearish divergence. If you gap and go, all right, you start pushing above this high here, above, let's put that on the chart, above there, above 476.42. You are probably going to put in another point of divergence. We're going to have to see if that resolves. I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm going to show you VIX right after QQQ here. I'm going to point out, it's looking like it wants to rally, and it could at least get, a dead cat bounce. You got the little bull flag formation, fallen wedge going on over here on QQ's 15-minute chart. Support is going to be 474.82. Underneath there, 473.82. Underneath there, you really don't have much until 471.81. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. I'm just going to delete that to unclutter our chart there. Next support is going to be 470.05 under there. Not saying we're getting all the way down there, but, we do have this 15-minute bearish divergence. And I typically do like to see a $5 to $7 pullback when I see these. And we just haven't had that yet. We have a really big rip without any pullbacks at this point. Okay. I told you guys a face ripper was coming out. Okay, and I got trolled by some bears in the comments, and it's fine. All right, that's fine. And, if you were one of those people, and you know what? While I'm at it, I'm going to shout out the person who decides to have a alert set for my video. All right. You got the nerve to have alerts that for my video. You got the bell notification hit. And you come within a minute of me posting it just to dislike the video. Who are you that has notifications on for my video just so they could come on the video to give it the dislike? Why? 2 videos in a row. That is messed up. I saw it happen and I was like, this can't be right. And then it happened again. I was like, oh, it is right. There's a hater. All right, guys. So, anyone who's hating, I'm sorry. Okay. I can't please everyone. It is what it is. It is all right. We're just going to keep doing us here on the channel. And I hope I make good by you, because we cover a lot of good stuff that could definitely be putting money in your pocket on this channel. And, I think if a lot more people saw that, I think the channel probably would be a lot bigger and would grow faster. I don't know how to really push it out all at once like that, but hey, there's a lot of value here. If you guys see that value, please just remember to leave that like button, because that is the one way I do know how to push it out to people. It's just the YouTube algorithm. That's that. Okay. On the upside, as resistance, you have 175.55, 476.42, and above there, you kind of have this straight shot up to 480.14. All right. You have like a whole gap, literally sitting nothing between here and here. That's $4. That is, a move that very much so can happen there. We already saw SPY push to its 0.786 fib. Tech has to make a little, it doesn't have to play catch up here, make a little comeback. But, without things closed, it's not, they didn't close bearishly. It's a neutral candlestick, neutral volume. We could very well just see this as your consolidation that pulled back some oscillators here and have another leg up. Could happen. Okay. Very much so could happen. We're just going to jump right over here to Mr. VIX. And I am going to point out, guys, this thing has definitely had our VIX crush. Shout out to anyone who was calling for a crash. I know things looked like a crash and things were going crazy. I guess we, in a way, did have a crash. So I can't hate. Okay. I don't want to hate, but I can't even if I wanted to. Because at the end of the day, this thing did end up, we saw this spike. No one, could have really seen that coming. It kind of was a black swan kind of thing in the market. 5% gap down on the NASDAQ was kind of insane that morning. And I remember, okay? I think that was the day I had a live stream. At the end of the day, we knew our protocol. We knew what we knew to be true, okay? I could look around me and say, this is not like the COVID 2020 crash that I saw, firsthand. I remember it was just panic. But it was like real panic. It was like, oh, I don't know if you were buying, you didn't know what the market was going to do the next day. Like you just thought, oh, it could gap down another like 4 or 5, whatever it was doing at the day. Like it was a real risk. This over here, it was a pretty slow correction. That boom, you had one really bad week, but then it really recovered and then showed everybody, oh, okay, the risk is gone. That's not what happened in the pandemic 2020 crash. That is not at all how that felt. It was just actually, you did not know, and you knew like there was actually like really big bad things happening behind the scenes. Right now, I know everyone likes the fear monger, but that's not what we have right now. It's not big panic behind the scenes. It's not. And we will know when those are happening, because you saw all the big banks, they were doing things about it. It was pretty clear that, we're living in a market crash. We're not living in a market crash right now. But, that's that. VIX has had a full-on crush now. Crushed like 80%, just about 77% now. On the 1 hour time frame, I just want to point out, you're coming down to, the bottom of my little demand zone you got sitting here. Okay, this is zone that, typically gives us some reactions on the VIX pretty much every time it's tested. Okay, here. Okay, all these reactions in the zone. We've now sliced through it without a reaction. So I think it's kind of safe to assume we're probably going to get a reaction right here at the bottom. It might happen. It might not. Who cares? Okay, I'll just point it out. You have the hourly bullish divergence sitting here. This could be something supporting that little pullback thesis right here with this path. Okay, that could support that. You see the pullback to 543.48. Not a bad, spot right there. That is where you had some consolidation. You had some sell orders in there. If you pull back, you're probably going to have some buy orders in there. Not a bad spot to go off of. That's that. Okay, guys, but that's all I really want to point out on VIX. You have the 15-minute and 1 hour bullish divergence just kind of continuously busting out here. Eventually you are going to get a decent sized VIX pop again, and things could look like they're getting a little scared, but at the end of the day, we have weekly charts that look like that. Okay, moving on to IWM. Going to cover support and resistance over here. Okay, guys, you're above the 9. We're saying you had to get above. You typically dance around it. Okay, if you pull back 209.77, that's going to be where that daily 9 EMA is. You watch 209.77 as support, 207.96, and then 203.82 under there. But I don't think we're going to retest down there unless you're going to take out this low or revisit this low. If you come back here, you're probably coming all the way back down here. That's just how I see it. Support right now is 212.25, but in reality, you're kind of just stalling out up here. So you could see your little pullback. We'll see how this goes. You launch off at 212.25 up to 215.85 and then 217.72. 220.77 is above that. Okay. DIA above that 0.786 fib. You're probably going to retest the high there. What I have to assume is probably about to come. It's over there. Okay, now if you are to take this whole move, which is probably what I should have done, you're right there at the 0.786 fib. So I'm going to say if you can get above 407.70, get a daily close above there. Let's look for a push up to 413.86. That's what I have to say about Dow. That's that. Moving on to the semiconductors, guys. This is the sector that's really coming out the hole here, becoming pretty strong. Some of these charts are looking, they're looking pretty meaty. SMH, guys, broke out of that downtrend. Okay, we said if it breaks out of that downtrend, breaks above 230.05, it probably has a straight shot up to 250.85 to 255.92, our supply zone up there. That is, what has happened now. You did not close with a bearish look. You do have that low volume on the day, but we're right underneath 250.85. I say that spot is going to act as a magnet now that we're so close. And that's what I'm paying attention to, all right? Expect sellers in between 250.85 and 255.92. But hey, all right, some of these other charts, they are setting up to do some big things. And we could very well maybe see a pullback, but very well see these things all just run up to new all-time highs here. Okay, support is going to be 239.14. Nvidia is one of those charts that's just looking absolutely monstrous. All right, now this actually... someone I'd say I don't feel comfortable like guys, options people, we trade options, right? We know the risk, but you take someone who has never done this stuff, you just tell them options, no. they will be like, what the heck, dude, what the heck? It's either going to be insane money and they're going to be like, oh my god, that's crazy, let me do it again. But eventually they're going to run into some risk and they're going to be like, oh my god, what is happening? So Nvidia, this is what I tell loved ones over there. And from the bottom, I remember I told people right here at the bottom, right there, I was like, guys, this is picture perfect. This is exactly what we want to say. Okay, the video was absolutely dying over there. It was retesting this daily RSI. Okay, it was sitting down there near oversold territory. You had 4-hour RSI also, hitting it with the bullish divergence there. When it was at the low of day, this thing was in the crapper. Okay, things were looking really, really nice. Nvidia is double Nvidia. Okay, so if you just want to trade your shares, guys, even just from that little run, you're almost up 100%. The bottom to the top, it's going to be 160%. Okay, so that's pretty nice, pretty nice. And this thing, just like Nvidia, is looking like a monster. It looks like it wants to run back up. That's that. But Nvidia, guys, is now in its golden pocket. You do not close out bearishly on Friday. The weekly candle, it kind of speaks for itself. You got volume. I know it's declining, but it's still heavy volume compared to the low volume weeks we've had over there. All right, so volume's ticking back up in this run up. What I think is real funny is everyone thought it was a crash, and including myself at the bottom on that 5% down NASDAQ day. It's kind of insane. S&P was down like 4%, or some crap like that. Insane. Okay, what I thought was really like Nvidia was gapping down 10 to 15%. That's insane. What I think is real funny is that this really sharp decline that people thought was really quick, it's turning out to be that was the counter trend move, and now we are seeing the trending move, which surprises guys. They're going to be on the upside because we're in the weekly uptrend. People probably looked at me like I was freaking crazy. when I was, saying this is going to be the buying opportunity. I understand that. But when you have things looking like this, you're like, oh my gosh, it really is the clear as day buying opportunity. And, once you see it, you can't unsee it. I know things may look crap, like really crappy. But at the end of the day, we did know that, hey, unless the market is actually crashing here, and, at that point, we're going to have to do some things, okay? And, the market's actually crashing. There's a bigger issue at hand. That's that. You shouldn't be doing those short-term, calls on, a market crash and thing with money you can't afford to lose and all that. That's what I'm getting at. So unless it's actually crashing, you knew that was the best possible point to be making these buys, guys. So that's that. And things are really just looking like they're about to run up to the highs. 140.76. That's my target over here on Nvidia, right? Trim into the highs. This thing looks like it's about to dig out the highs. I can't say nothing else about it. You came down here, the golden pocket, break and retest off of 97.40. And now you're getting the reaction of a lifetime over here, just getting this rip. Okay, 140.76 looks likely from here. You got to get above 130 for that to become a reality. Okay, resistance is going to be 124.69, 127.05, and then 131.39. But if you test 131.39, maybe you get a little pullback. But from that point, pullbacks are super big buying opportunities because Nvidia is clear as day, just going to run up to the highs. But again, this thing looks like you get another candlestick like we just got, and you're going to have, a new all-time high. You got to, 13%. If you have another 20% week like you just did, you gotta, make some really big moves up there to new all-time highs. That's that. Okay, above 130, 140, 76 is common. Support is going to be 118.04 under there, 108.80. Avgo, another one that just looks pretty insane here in the weekly time frame. You pulled back here. You actually did have this, long-term uptrend you got going on. I think it was over here. Yeah, right. You pulled right into it and you recovered it. Okay. This thing is another one that was just looking like a freaking monster. And now it's doing beastly things, guys. That's all that's happening. Okay. We're going to take off that to declutter the chart. What do you got? Okay. You're in the golden pocket. You closed out strong over here on Friday. Weekly candles suggest you're probably going to get some continuation there. It's looking monstrous. Okay. 166.85 is your resistance above there. Focus on 173 if you can get above there. You're coming up here to 185.16. In between here and here, though, you have 176.55. Get above 176.55. Probably have a straight up move up here. So that's like a short term trade idea. Once the opportunity presents itself, that is going to be there. Okay. So I'm going to just add alert. There we go, right there. Okay. But honestly, guys, this thing's looking crazy. And again, these gap goes, they can continue the pullback. It's a buying opportunity. Support is going to be 161.33, 156.40, and that's that. Okay, AMD bounce right there at the 0.786 fib. Again, just another one that's looking monstrous over here. You had this, 100% rip right there, 144%. Remember when it was over $200? Yeah, me too. All right, 144% rip. You've now given back, 3/4 of that rally. Okay. You are now bouncing from the final stand over here from buyers. That's why we use the golden pocket, because the golden pocket works. 0.618 fib, the 0.786 fib, that is that. Okay. Broke its downtrend, broke above 136.32. We said get above there. You probably run to 141.15 pretty quick. Okay. And things are looking pretty nice here. Hourly time frame, you just stair stepping your way up. You're now finding resistance. Okay, sellers at 148.78 resistance. So that is that. Above 148.78 though, it does have a clear shot up to 153.64 and then to 157.05. That is going to be your supply zone on the weekly chart. That's the spot that really speaks to me. You have this congestion going on here. It clearly looks like, hey, you're probably going to get a wick up here if you test it. 153.64 to 157.05. That's where you should expect sellers. But if you can get above here, 157.05, then you have 162.50, and that is where that 0.618 fib, the next golden pocket, lies. Smci, this is personally like my favorite one for playing catch up right here. Inverted hammer candlestick, now a nice, bullish candlestick, suggesting bulls were in full control here this week. Yes, they were. Fresh breakout from that downtrend, got above that 9. Okay, you're, selling off at 636, 98 resistance right here. It's the high of this candlestick over here. Get above there, though, you have a straight shot up to 671, and then what I think is likely is 762.63, right? So above 671, you have 730.01, and then 70.62.63. And on the weekly chart, you could see, again, that same concept. Here's where your congestion is. You had buyers holding the line over here. Well, they let loose. Now we probably have people ready to sell right there. So that's going to be what I'm looking for. ESM, another just monster looking weekly candle right here. Bullish engulfing candle followed by a green bar. You confirm this candlestick, the bullish engulfing candlesticks, they get confirmed off the next one. All right. So like this is not this playing out. This is the confirmation off this. And this means we're probably going all-time highs. Okay. Above 180.65. You could call it. You're going to 192.80. Nope. You're going to 193.47. New all-time high incoming. All right. So on the daily time frame, you're in the golden pocket. Resistance 176.82. 182.75 and then 193.47. Support is going to be 171.54, 167.67, and 162.65. MU. Okay, guys. So what do we got going on over here? This is another one that, just had a massive retracement here. This is the whole entire move, guys. Okay, 2022 low to the peak, 200% gain. Well, it got sliced down to only 75%. You gave back over 50% of that move. Coming down here to the 6.618 fib, you gave back 61.8% of that whole entire move. This thing has just retraced its whole entire move. This thing is probably going to continue higher, but I will point out, you've had buyers for a while stepping in here at the weekly 9 EMA, okay, right there, and then you slip through. Now we should be expecting those sellers. Same congestion, concept right up there. It's got that same spot is up here, and that actually is where that 0.618 fib. The next one is up there at 129.75. Okay, guys. So above this weekly 9 here, which is going to be at 111.34 resistance, the high of this candlestick right here. Above there, we probably do actually start tracking up to 121.01 and then 127.27. Okay, that's like the key spot here. These two levels that I think we are probably at least going to test here on this rally. This isn't the best looking thing compared to something like Nvidia or Avgo. But, it's also like this is discount zone right here. Nvidia did not just decline and get back 61% of its move. MU did. All right. So that's something that should be noted. So support, guys, is going. So on the downside, support is going to be 105.72 and then 102.17, 97.69 under there. Resistance on the upside is 111.34, 116.34, the 121.01, and then eventually we have 127.27. Guys, the golden pocket sitting right above. ARM, guys, is one of the weaker looking ones as well. All right. This doesn't have so much history. Has gone for quite some time, quite some ride here, though. Okay. It's also, giving back most of that decline here. It is definitely, in discount area when you're down here. But I will point out you have this zone here, 135.41 to 145. That's your supply zone now. It's supposed to act as demand here. It was for a little bit, and then you died. All right. I thought this was going to set up for a larger bounce than it actually did. And dead cat bounce, and then boom, you died. You got to get back above it. All right. If you get above 145, look for a straight up move to 152.55, which has that next 0.618 fib sitting right there. And from there, guys, we probably are, you can get above here. You probably do push back up to the highs. You probably climb back up here. Things probably accelerate once you get back up above 145. That's what I have for ARM. UCOM, how are we looking? Weekly chart, same concept, guys. That whole entire rally here, you just retraced. Came back to the 0.618 fib, 113%. You gave back to, that 60% of the rally. This thing is probably going to continue to bounce, but same exact thing we're just talking about in ARMs. You have this supply zone, this big zone right here. You got to get above 177.59 to 184.31. If you can get above 184.31, you have a straight shot up here to 198.71, and that is a decent sized move for you to take advantage of. All right, so that's something we should be definitely paying attention to. We should definitely expect sellers right here. Okay, so we're looking for like a flag to set up here on the daily time frame, and that is what we want to go off of for that break above 184.31. But you probably do get that consolidation because this should be treated as the supply zone. All right, you're probably not just going to have a straight push through it. So we'll see what we get. But the weekly 9 is there too. So, you know, it definitely makes sense for sellers to step in there and give us something setting up here. We'll probably get some sort of setup, just like we got this downtrend. We point this one out going into this week. And, you know, I think it's going to be setting up for something else as well. Now let's talk about the big boys. Apple over here, guys. Big break and retest going on here. It's itching for a new all-time high. 237.23, I think, is coming. All right, daily time frame. Let's just talk about support and resistance. Okay, 225.35 support, 222.27 under there. Resistance is 227.78, and you know, if we're gonna retrace this whole move down, you know, it's gonna be right around 227.78. It's at 228.40. Get above 228.40, guys. 237.23 is coming. That's that. Microsoft, 430.82. That's the big spot you really got to reclaim. You clearly see this is a heavily traded area right there. Get above there. We're talking a straight up move to 445.66, and that is, you know, definitely a spot that I would like to take advantage of. All right, this piece of the move right there, that is what I think is going to be juicy, and we could definitely get some, you know, nice money right there. Okay, on the downside is support 417.27, 413, resistance 421.78, and then 430.82. Amazon looking kind of nice, broke down from that uptrend there. Okay, got to come back and see what happens here at this, you know, this zone right here, 183.70 to 188.65. That's going to be a big spot here. Okay, that's where your seller stepped in over here. You had the little false breakout, and then you came back down. The good news is, guys, this whole thing is going to be a handle for this this thing. I don't have it because I don't have not TrendSpider. What is the other one? What is the other not brokerage? What is the other charting platform? Not TradingView. Maybe it is TrendSpider. Yeah. I don't have that, but there's a tool. I always see the people on Twitter post it, and it is showing earnings to price. And Amazon just keeps earning more and more, and the price is not going up in correlation to it. So it's like the cheapest it's ever been. On this decline, now it's really the cheapest it's ever been. All right, guys. So, you know, Amazon, fundamentally speaking, is looking pretty good. And that's what I'm thinking here. This chart is also looking pretty good. That's also what I'm thinking here. Support 173.87, 168.77, 166.32. Resistance 176.80. I know you're above it, but you're kind of stalling out right there. We're going to have to see what happens there. Above 176.80, you have 181.22 and then 188.65. That's that big spot. We want to see what happens if tested. Meta, guys, I told you it's itching to just push back up to all-time highs here. That's what I think is going to be the outcome. Okay, we printed that right here, guys. You know, it's clearly just consolidating here. This is your zone here. Okay, this is where we knew we were probably going to have sell orders sitting. Well, yeah, you're definitely having a battle here. Okay, you're trying to flip it. But guys, you know, get above 531.49. You probably are going to retest 537.48. And at that point, 542.81 is probably in the bag. You're probably getting all the way up there. Not resistance. Support is 527.17, 523.86. That's that. Good, guys. This is the sexiest setup that I can see out of these big boys. It is setting up for a big reversal here. Got the wide body green bar gapped all the way down here. On the week, guys, you gapped down like 7% right there. And then you rallied, closed the week out strong, had some consolidation the next week, and printed a hammer candlestick off of not the worst volume, but still declining volume. Okay. I like how this thing is looking. Fresh downtrend break. It is technically above that daily 9, but it's kind of also, you know, sitting right at it, which I don't like. I would have liked you to close out near the highs here, but this thing really isn't looking too bad. If you can get above 166.70, you have a straight shot up to 170.97. Above there, you're testing 178.21. Above there, you're testing 175.91 and then 178.21. That is that. Okay, you gotta overcome these to get up there. All right, but Goog's looking really good, guys. Really good. Tesla, I like what I'm seeing as well. Fresh downtrend break, held that 9. Not the 9. You held the 0.618 fib there. You recovered the 9 here on the weekly time frame. I like how that's looking as well. All right, you dance around the 9, got above it, got the downtrend break. Now support is going to be 214.71, 208.49, then 270. If 270 is tested again, I think it probably holds, and then you rally from there. Resistance is going to be 220, 226.79, 233.09. You have the 0.618 fibs and right above there. I think this thing is set up for a more of a rally here. I think this is kind of picture perfect, exactly what you want to see as a long, and it looks really good. All right, so Bitcoin, guys, that's not looking the best, but you kind of are just consolidating there in a flag-like manner. Got the hammer candlestick / pin bar last week. Bullish candlestick, nonetheless, increasing volume on the golden pocket test from this whole rally here. Not looking bad at all. All right, held 52.884 support. Okay, now you're kind of just bouncing in between the levels. You need some acceptance over 59313. And honestly, I think it is setting up for a little, pretty picture here. Remove the 63794. All right, so that's what I'm really going to be paying attention to. Set 63,794. Above there, we could test 70,167 again. On these miners, guys, they're kind of all just, getting past those daily nines at this point. You had their retracements. We were talking about them. I think there are better setups to focus on right now with how Bitcoin is looking. And with how these are looking, this is coming into a key spot, 2771. Above there, though, 223.03. It's on the table. But support is going to be 199.38, 194.93, and then 187.39. TLSK, again, test the 9. This is what I was saying. We got a bunch of these. Not looking bad, though, all right? You've held this golden pocket on the test. You held the larger golden pocket from the whole move. This is the whole move, guys. Like, a bunch of these things just reset. Now we got to see what happens if you start pushing up here at 1391. Are you going to get, acceptance up there? We're going to have to see. But that is the big spot. I think this thing is queued up for a reversal. Daily RSI's, curling up here. I think you're about to be heating up on CLSK. MAR is the one I'm personally waiting on. I got my alert set. I'm waiting for it to be hit here. You started heating up on Friday there, but I want to see you get above the daily 9. I think this thing could go for, a 10 to 20% rip. It could come in one day, and that is that. Above 1780, you really have nothing until you come all the way up here to 1991. So that is the move right there that, is really speaking to me. But, above here, you get a straight up move to 1780, above 1780, 1991, then 2137. I'm actually going to take that off. Take that off right there. Take that off right there. Fresh levels, guys. I like my fresh chart. That's that. And that, yeah, we're probably going up to 2290. That's would be a retest of that downtrend or that uptrend that you broke down from as well. I like it. I like how it's looking. Okay, we'll take a look at Mistroni over here. Mistroni macaroni. Let's get the I don't know what rhymes with macaroni. Jabroni. We got the jabronis over here on these charts. And yeah, Mester, guys. Mester is still consolidating underneath the 9. I told you we got a bunch of things just testing the 9 over here. Get above there and 142.16. Get above 142.16. You probably have a straight move up to 150.77. And then a test of 159.25 is on the table. Both those spots are spots you broke down from. You likely get sellers stepping in at both of those. So those would be take profit levels if you were playing this breakout trade I just spoke about. And that would be that. Okay, but you're clearly consolidating here. You got like, week and a half of consolidation. You're getting ready for a big move. You pop above 142.16, you probably are coming, up here. That's a $10 move you could take advantage of. Okay, that's that. Support 120.23. All right, guys, I did forget to put futures in there, but I am going to run through those right now, guys. We're going to start off with NQ here, and I am just going to point out, guys, you printed this fat, nasty hammer candlestick, and now you have a big wide body green bar pushing into the golden pocket. But guys, when are we going to print something like this followed by that and then get it not taking out the high? We're just not going to do that. All right, you are about to take out the high, and that is what I think we're at least going to test the high. We'll say that. All right, you did not put in a bar like that and then put in a candlestick like that. You did not put in a bar like that and then put in a candlestick like that. You did not put in a bar like that and then fade it the next week like that. Instead, you put in a hammer candlestick, a nice large wicked hammer candlestick on the weekly time frame, and followed it with a nice continuation candlestick, suggesting that buyers are now in control. So this was the bar saying that buyers are retaking control, they're regaining control. And then this is the bar suggesting that they are now in control. Buyers are now in control, and that's, that's how the bias will remain here. Okay, buyers have taken control above this previous low. This is what they need to hold. You've held that higher low here, and I am now expecting them to push to a new high. All right, so let's just go over the levels here on NASDAQ. Okay, right there, right there. I'm actually going to do this. Do this instead. Da, 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 da. Okay, so you probably come right through there. That is a clean 250 point move right there through these fair value gaps. That probably will take place if I had to take a guess. All right, and you have another big one right there. All right, so we're definitely expecting sellers up there. But guys, get above 19,717. You have a clear shot to 20,084, 75. You will have the 0.786 fib sitting right there, but as I just discussed, I think this thing is going up to a new high. This is probably going to be taken out. You clearly do have, a bunch of confluence going on up here. You have the 0.786 fib. You got this fair value gap going on, daily fair value gap. You got your 20,335 resistance right there. Okay, expect sellers up here, but if this gets tested, we're very likely just revisiting the high up here at 20,983.75. That is what I'm going to be paying attention to on NASDAQ. If you pull back, watch for buyers in these fair value gaps. The low of that one is 18,765.25. All right. And then the low of this one is going to be 19,203.50. If you give up 19,203.50, you're probably coming down here to 18,925. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to. All right. So that is what I have over there on NASDAQ. We're going to come over here to ES. And I am going to just point out, you're pushing up here to the 0.786 fib. That looks like it's going to be taken out. Weekly candlestick, again, looks very bullish here. Very bullish. Okay. Hammer candlestick, followed by the continuation candlestick. And from this point, guys, I do have to assume you're running back up to the highs here. You're pushing the 0.786 fib. If you can get above 5,675, 5,675. I was looking for the right way to say that because it could, yeah. All right. It could be interpreted both ways there. 5,675, guys. That's 75 cents. That is the level to watch. You break above there, 5,629.75. That's where we're, going to be looking for. And that's, a decent sized move right there. It's almost 30 points for you. 5,664, that's the next level above there. Again, decent points in between these things, guys. And then, like I said, guys, you break above here, probably retesting the highs, 5,721.25. That's where we're going to be paying attention to. All right, but again, on the weekly time from this thing, definitely suggests it's going to be, running back and test this high. And yeah, we could get some pullbacks over here, just like you had over here, trim into the highs, and then reload on that pullback because it's probably just going to pull back and then go higher. That's the game plan over here. RTY. All right. Small caps. Hammer candlestick. Continuation candlestick. Same picture, just not as pretty as we just saw. Okay. The spot to really watch over here on this chart is going to be 2188.70. All right. So that's what I would be paying attention to. I'm not going to be trading this guy, but that is that. You're going to have the golden pocket sitting up there, right around that level as well. So that is definitely a spot to watch. 2,188.70 and then 2,236.30. Those are the levels to pay attention to. If you can get above 2,250, you're probably just going to come up here to 2,320.50. That is that. All right. And from that point, you're probably going to be pushing up here to new all-time highs. All right. If you can prove that this was all just one giant, really quick pullback before you have a massive ripperoonie. Yeah, all right. If you do come all the way back up here, you're probably going to see that move right there. That's not too much to ask for, considering you broke out here. You had seen a 7% move. Well, give us another breakout. Let's see a 6% move. You're at a new all-time high. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm expecting here on these futures charts, guys. Just to run through it again, guys. Hammer candlestick showing that bulls are in full control. Yes. Hammer candlestick stemming from the 0.786 fib, literally stepped in right there. Bulls final stand, last chance there, and then guess what followed it? a continuation candlestick suggesting that bulls are now in full control. It's going back up the highs. Look for a new high above 5,721.25. All right, now let's talk about some things I'm watching. Okay, first things first, D King, guys, it is looking sexy, just like we spoke about. All right, weekly chart, increasing volume on this candlestick here. You're coming into a key spot, 3440 to 3530 supply zone. Those are the final TPs up there, 3530. But I'm just gonna say this thing looks like it wants to break out, and that's what I'm seeing here. It looks like it wants to break out. If it can get above 3530. We're gonna watch for the reaction right here. But if you get back into this pennant we had here, you can push up to 3781. This thing is it could even be coming up here to test this downtrend. All right, so we're gonna have to see what happens here. Looking nice though. You're right here testing that downtrend. It's a big spot. We should expect sellers to step in. Thought I'd speak on it because walk you through the trade there. FSLR. Okay, this is also another that I'm keeping my eye on here. Okay, I'm not dipping my toes in here. Not yet. I want to see if we could test this level right here. I got my alert set. But, if you break above 232, you probably do get a straight shot up to 240.96. Okay, support is going to be 219.67. So, another way to play this is the range. They're right here. $12 range right there. That's that. And then if you are to break under there, another way to play this, okay, 219.67, you break under there. Well, the next spot you're really going to look for buyers down here at 210. So, that's the next spot you want to start looking for something on the smaller time frames. Netflix, guys, the fact that you got above the 0.786 fib on Friday tells me this thing's probably headed higher. The weekly time frame, that candle's monstrous. All right, it wants to take out the 799 all-time high. It wants to make a new all-time high. We were watching here on the downtrend break. It's just, riding up, guys. This thing's looking sexy. All right. 664.50 is your support. Above there, 799 is really what you have a date with now. That's that. 639, guys. I got my alert down there. If tested, that is the buying opportunity here. All right. Clear as day, that is your buying opportunity. All right. You test there. That's around the 50% retracement. Then you come lower. You're just looking for a golden pocket test. But guys, the fact that it's gone all the way back up here and didn't break above the all-time high over here, it's probably going to do it on this test. And that's that. All right, now we're just going to go through some, things we talked about previously before, as well as some new ideas here. All right, target, guys. It's approaching this little downtrend. I think you're probably going to get rejection around here. You're going to form a downtrend here. We're going to have another setup. Okay, guys, we had a setup over here on targets, break right here. Okay, so this little set right there. You also had that head and shoulders formation right there. You broke down. Okay, you could have been playing that. We didn't pay attention to that. We had a little setup right here we were focusing on. This is on the focus list going into this week. Above 136.35, 137.75, and then 139.98. You actually end up having one big gap up day right there. And now it looks like you're pushing 145.30, all right? 145.30, we're looking for sellers to step in over here. If they do, it's going to set a 3-tap downtrend here. Okay, you're going to have 3 touch points here, 3 taps. And from that point, we're going to have something to go off. You do have earnings right around the corner, so that's probably going to be bringing a move. If you do not get down big off of earnings here, I think this thing is worth paying attention to on the long side. That's what I'm thinking. PayPal, all right, got above the 0.786 fib on this day right there. Someone, I think, requested this in the Discord on their ticket request. So you got above there. That makes this test right here likely, and at that point, you're going to push up to the top of the range, 68.21. Now, above there, guys, things get spicy. All right, you rejected into the end of the week right there, but if you could have gone a week close above there, that would have been picture perfect. It does look like you are going to break that next week, so let's talk about some resistance. 68.21 above there, 70.66, and then I'm actually going to adjust this level. We like it, all right, 72.50. Above 72.50, you're pushing up here to 76.54. Is PayPal about to be, doing a thing here? I think it very much so can. All right. You have a, pretty good looking breakout right here. And I like what I'm seeing. All right. This thing looks like it just started a larger move. All right. And it looks like it's probably going to be tested up here at 76.54. The high of this candlestick's right there. That's that. CLH. I'm not touching this thing, full disclosure, but, yeah, it's looking like it wants to break out of this falling wedge here. But, I think this is a piece of garbage. I just thought I'd mention it. PLTR, guys, you're pushing up to the top of the channel here. We talked about it over here. It was a trade idea over there on that break and retest. You did end up holding that and you send it up to the top of the channel. Now you're testing that golden pocket. Okay. You literally came back. You sold off the 0.618 fib there. So down to the bottom of the parallel channel as well as that, break and retest zone right there. And then you send it up to the top of the channel again. This thing's looking phenomenal, all right? But, sellers are likely to start stepping in up here at the top of the channel. Just my thoughts. It doesn't have to happen. If it doesn't happen, you start getting weekly closes above the top of this channel. It's a parallel channel. I literally took the parallel and put it up there. Start getting weekly closes. You're probably pushing up to a new all-time high. $45. That's probably going to be how that goes if you start getting above that channel. Tesla, I already spoke about it. I think this thing is actually like really sexy and appealing where it's at right now. Pullbacks are buying opportunities into that 9 EMA as well as 208.49. All right, that's what I want. 208.49. TLT, we talked about it, guys. This thing's gonna be. We talked about in the last weekly video. I think we did. Whenever it was down here, it was testing this golden pocket down here, guys. This thing's probably going to be going up. So dips are going to be buying opportunities. We talked about the reasoning why it was going to be going up. This thing is, probably going to be getting back up. It's just going to be on an upward trajectory. So it's something to pay attention to. Just like you find buyers over here at that golden pocket, then over here you found them at that. I'm just going to assume you found them at that golden pocket. Oh, look at that. You found them at that golden pocket right here at the 0.618 fib. Okay, well, you tested over here and yeah, you're rallying again. Okay, we're going to assume that buyers are going to keep stepping up at these things. It looks like this thing could push up to a, back up to the high over here. And that's what I'm going to be paying attention to, all right? So the high is 157. I think that is where this thing is headed. And that's just that. I just thought I'd put it on your radar. Goog, I already pointed out, but this thing is definitely the sexiest large, mega cap stock here. 2 trillion market cap here. That is... it has a fresh setup here that we could go off of. Fresh breakout going on here. It looks destined for a move to 175.91 up to 178.21. That's your supply zone that we're paying attention to. And that's that. Netflix, I already pointed out, dipped to 239. I like it. Dip down here. Over here, it's going to be where the 0.618 fib is. I also like it. That's that. Move to all-time highs. Nike, I'm just going to do a little refresher on that. You did break above that range last week, guys. All right, so that is something that, this thing kind of exploded all in one go. And now it is much, much, much higher there. All right, so you moved 10% already, above 10%. You saw the move to the upward target there, and now you are full on recovering here. And it looks like you're coming up here to 88.66. So, dips are buying opportunities here. If you pull all the way back here to 79, 79.05, that's going to be where that weekly 9 EMA is. That would be your buying opportunity because this thing is probably going to test 78.66 over the coming 1 to 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying. Crowd, we talked about it here at the bottom. I retraced this whole move it had. Okay. It was a big break and retest level right there. You are finding buyers here. I'm just going to put it on your radar. Expect sellers right here. 273.16, 280.88. That's your supply zone. You get above 280.88. 303.51 is in the cards. And that is that. This thing's kind of looking pretty monstrous, though. I'm just going to point it out. Cost, another thing that's looking pretty monstrous. Okay. Recovered that little uptrend you broke down from. I want to point out you got above the 0.786 fib over here on Thursday. You start pulling back into Friday. I do think this thing's probably going to pull back a little bit, but if it pulls back into 854.58 is going to be your buying opportunity there. I'll put a little alert because we did already get above that 0.786 fib. So I do think a rally up here to the current all-time high at 896.67, I think it's likely. All right. So let's just say, all right, pull back here to 854.58. We're going to look for buyers to step in over there. If not, we're watching 837.55. But in the end, we're looking for a move up here to a new all-time high above 896.67. That's what I have for you guys in today's video. I appreciate your time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you, do think it's, very useful stuff we got going on here, and you think you have people that, another amazing individual who would also find it beneficial to go into their trading week and to, maneuver the trading weeks, then feel free to share. And yeah, I hope everybody has a lovely rest of their weekend. And you can come trade with me over in the Discord. We're heating up. I'm actually going to be focusing more on the shorter term expirations. Going back into that, I was just waiting for this wave to really come up, guys. I was waiting for this whole recovery here. I was like, I'm pretty sure all of these things are going to come back to life, and then as long as I'm taking advantage of that dip and taking a new position on the dip, we're also going to be up on those positions. In the end, we're going to make this out. We're going to make money on this rally, and then we could just go back to looking for the short term trade setups. And I'm happy that we're back in that place. So I'm happy if you're back in that place. I'm happy to be back in that place. I'm happy to be back in an environment where I give myself the chance to kill it each week. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, link is down below if you want to come trade with me, guys. A little plug to the Twitter. If you are not already following the Twitter, go check it out. I will be posting, every day, charts every single day over there on Twitter. And I just had a semiconductor thread, so if you want to go check that out, just on detailed charts you can have right in front of you here, this is a thread that I just posted, so go check that out. Link is also down below in the description. That being said, catch y'all in the next one, and peace.